So welcome everyone to another Tentative Poke Productions review. And, we've done something slightly different this week, still going with two movies, but one of our reviewers each have gone with their own particular choice of movies. So first off was done by our very own Josh Sharrad. Do you want to introduce that?
We saw The King's Speech today with Colin Firth and Jeffrey Rush and Helena
Bonham Carter.
Yep, thank
and
you.
Dumbledore.
And Guy Pearce.
Michael Gambon.
Yes. So yeah, Josh, first off, what was your reasons for choosing The King's Speech?
I had heard many good things about it, many excellent things about it, and it lived up to it all. Anything I'd heard was there, which is great. Colin Firth will win Oscar for Best Actor.
Well, I mean, that's
Note
the thing,
that now.
right? The King's Speech is meant to be one of the big Oscar movies of the year.
Oscar buzz.
Oscar buzz.
And Colin Firth was great. He was brilliant. He was excellent.
Yeah.
Top. I've said enough.
Yeah, my thoughts. King's Speech doesn't exactly sound like a really inspiring or great movie. I thought it was going to be boring when I first heard about it, but you can't judge a book by its cover. It really was a moving picture. I mean, Colin Firth and Jeffrey Rush, just the chemistry, just the opposing statuses of the characters was just great. The way Jeffrey Rush trivialised the notion of social hierarchy and that the prince, or the Duke of York as it was no more important than this everyday Australian, which was it created quite a few nice moments within the film.
It was really kind of strange. I mean, you come in thinking it's going to be one of the big dramatic films of the year. Yet that has to be one of the most well-written, one of the most really funny, actually. Well, I guess you call it witty, but like it was actually really humorous by both not only Colin Firth, but I think Jeffrey Rush really stands out. Just really almost underplaying the humour, but it's so deadpan, but at the same time it works brilliantly.
And he was very quirky, which works the whole film. The particular note of the framing of shots, often you would get people in the bottom left-hand corner of a shot and there'd be nothing, and the rest were quite often, you don't want to have lots of dead space. So there's a lot of strange angles and a lot of interesting framework as well.
Real close-ups.
I think, the one thing I was going to say, you get a lot of shots that are just right in Colin Firth's face. And just his face alone, he's working so damn hard, and that's just with this part of his face to create the performance.
I mean, with the angles as well, often angles work to create power levels and whatnot. And at the start, when Colin Firth first meets Jeffrey Rush, you get Colin Firth looking rather small, and he's in the corner of the screen, and Jeffrey Rush is big, and you're looking up at him, and that that's the reverse of the
it's challenging the hierarchy, and I think it creates great scripting opportunities. The characters that they play against each other so well, and you just feel there is a sense of equality, and it's sort of I guess the writers having a hack at this sort of pompous nature that is associated with the royal family, which was really nice to see. It was a really meaningful story, and you can connect, because that was one thing I was questioning throughout the thing. If it was played as the royal family, very dignified,
how are you going to relate to that?
How are you going to connect with that? And they did that. They brought that out beautifully, and I don't think the humour would work if they were completely undignified. I mean, Colin Firth is a very dignified character, and that's where some of the humour comes into play.
Let's try a different side of the film. So you've got the script work and everything. This is probably our first period piece actually going to a certain thing.
Which do have a tendency to get kind of boring.
How do you feel? I think let's go from a technical side, like the way, the set design, everything else. Like, how do you think that was played being back in the 30s as it was?
It looked very authentic. You definitely felt there, and
you definitely got that feel of depression and struggle, and then very dark at the beginning as he's dealing with his problem, and then we see the whole movie move into lighter tones, whites and golds and things.
It moves into a lighter tone, but yet it moves to a time that is perhaps the darkest time ever.
Okay, so if we're going with a period piece, the main thing as well is accents. That's one of the things that makes or breaks that kind of period piece. Do we think everyone really got it right?
I think as with most things, you don't notice when people are doing it right, but you notice when people are doing it wrong. And I didn't notice anybody doing anything wrong.
I think one of the person that I think stand out is Guy Pearce. And you take him, he did an amazing job of just, you get these characters that, some people just put on an accent. You know, it's really not that noticeable, nothing to think about, but he transformed his voice. It's one of those
so
actors that just natural and fluent, but is nothing like what he sounds like. And someone like Guy Pearce, who you see in lighter comedies, he was in Funny People, and he's done a few Adam Sandler films, but just to go complete opposite side of the spectrum, doing this drama and this English film, and it's something completely different.
Yeah, and one of the other interesting things is the character Winston Churchill, probably arguably one of the best, public speakers that Britain's ever had, up against this King George character, and there's this one point towards the end where Winston is praising the King on his efforts, and that just really seals the deal. And I think the characters are believable, and the accents are believable, and that it's just an all-round great film.
Okay, well, our Poke rating. So
I'm going to go with 4.5. 4.5, really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm really a comedy man. There were bits of comedy in there, but I can also appreciate the,
a well-made movie.
Yeah, a brilliantly made movie, and one that pulls you in. I mean, it's a film for oldies. I heard a couple of, oh, my battery's gone, but it was. I really enjoyed it.
We were the youngest people by about 40 years, weren't we?
No,
he's 50. But I wasn't expecting to enjoy it, but I was surprised and really enjoyed that. It was well worth my $8.
Okay, well, I'm basing it on things we've seen this year and the fact that it was a bit, obviously being a drama film, it's a bit slow to get in with, to find its niche and everything else, but I would... N-I-C-H-E with the hyphen. Don't use smart words if you don't know how to say them. But so let's just go with a simple 4. I think it was just a great film. Look, I'm comparing it as far as a great drama film to The Social Network, another Oscar contender. But
that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to step out here. I'm giving it 5 Pokes because it is the best film I have seen since The Social Network. I heard so many good things about it, and I wasn't disappointed at all. I really didn't. I thought it might not be as good as I've heard, and it was. I'm going to give it 5 Pokes. It is the best film since The Social Network.
So it's not a tentative poke, that's a vicious
that's
5-star.
So that's a 5-finger jab, that is.
But absolutely, love it.
Okay, well, stay tuned, and a bit later on we will have Love and Other Drugs for you.
Probably not 5.
No, maybe 0, but so what's that, an average 4.5?
Average
4.5, that is very good.
See you then.